Hello, this is Michael Kies, and last week I spoke to you about setting targets, and it's now a quarter of the way through the month of October, and you need to be at least a quarter of the way to reaching targets. If you're not on target, do not adjust your targets. Adjust the way you're thinking. Adjust the way you're talking to yourself. Keep saying to yourself, I can do this. And then ask yourself, in what area am I behind? And then take positive action on that area and create sales. I'm now going to share with you something that has helped me make many sales, and I call it the principle of asking for more. When you have a buyer who's offered on a property and the offer is less than the asking price, follow these 4 steps. 1. Convey the offer over the phone about 30 minutes before you see the vendor in person. If you're working with an interstate vendor, convey the offer and shut up and wait for the vendor to speak first. 2. When you see the vendor, run through all the conditions of the offer and then show them the offered price in writing and then shut up. Give the vendor plenty of time to think. 3. Assuming that the vendor is not happy with the offered price and assuming the conditions are good and the settlement date's okay, then the only thing holding the vendor back from getting happily moved is the price. And let's say you have an offer of $700,000 on an asking price of $750,000. And then the vendor will say they are prepared to accept $730,000. You then explain the 4 things that can happen by countersigning this proposal. You say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, A, the buyers may withdraw their offer to purchase your property and we may lose them. But if you're prepared to take that risk, so am I. B, the buyers may be able to afford to pay somewhere in between $700,000 and $730,000. C, the price the buyers have offered is their best price, and that's the most they can afford to pay. Or D, the buyer may agree to pay $730,000. You then explain to the vendor that if the buyers do come up to $730,000, that they have sold their house. And then you apply the 4th step, and that's the principle of asking for more. And that's suggesting to the vendor that you countersign the agreement, in this case, at $735,000. And by applying the principle of asking for more, shows the vendor that you're really acting in their best interest. What the common salesperson does is try and get the vendor down to their lowest price. No, you don't do that. You ask for a little bit more. Because if you're trying to get the vendor down to their lowest price, the vendors think that you are working for the buyer and not working for them. You show them in this case that you are working for them. And then you say this to the vendors. So now is not decision time. When I come back to you with what I believe is the buyer's best price, then it's decision time. And then when you come back with the buyer's highest price, you'll notice a difference with the vendor who is now more open to accepting a reasonable proposal. I've used this many times with great results. Apply the principle of asking for more and you'll have more tough negotiations come together and therefore make more sales. I want you to be present. I want you to be bold. I want you to be enthusiastic, and I wish you every success in real estate. Until next week, this is Michael Kies saying goodbye.